Hi, welcome to the Milwaukee Theater Alliance. You've got a thing. Happy Friday. I'm Tom with the Village Playhouse, your host tonight, and our two guests are Posey from 53212 Presents and Helene from Draw Right Here. So why don't you folks introduce yourselves? Posey, you're on the top of my screen, so you can go first. Just tell us about yourself and what about 53212 Presents.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tom. And thanks to the Milwaukee Theater Alliance for hosting us today. We feel like the lucky guests because there's so much exciting theater going on in Milwaukee. Actually, I just saw the Village Playhouse's One Act Festival. Tom, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
53212 Presents is a new nonprofit. We're entering our second year, and we're all about bringing together the neighborhoods that make up the 53212 zip code in Milwaukee. So unfortunately, we have a city that struggles with a lot of issues that other cities have, including segregation. And so our organization is built around the idea of bringing together the Harambe and River West neighborhoods of 53212. My husband and I, Kirk Thompson, we facilitate a lot of the work at 53212 Presents, and we're both physical theater artists and visual artists and educators. So that's what we're engaging with. And I'm really excited to share with you the partnership that we've created with Draw Right Here during the pandemic. Helene, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm Helene Fischman, and my creative project, Draw Right Here, is a series of ongoing events that are free and open to the public. And it draws in anyone who identifies as an artist or a writer, or now we've expanded also to musicians, performers, dancers, to come together and have creative conversations that are based on philosophizing about a particular theme or a place or an event. And Posey and I, 53212 Presents and Draw Right Here, actually collaborated just pre-pandemic, where 53212 Presents created the theatrical housing and sacred space for our collaboration and performance. And then once we hit the pandemic, we just thought this is a collaborative team that needs to take the community through a series of opportunities to really process through these creative conversations, everything that we're going through, or at least pieces of what we're going through in this in the pandemic for Milwaukeeans.
So it's an ongoing project.
It is. It is.
Great.
We're calling it the People's History of the Pandemic.
Oh, good title. Great title.
So the event that we have on next Saturday, January 23rd at 7 p.m. on Zoom, it's fully accessible, it's fully free, is the reveal of parts 2 and 3 of A People's History of the Pandemic. Part 2 is civil rights, and then part 3 is called Going Postal, which was sort of all about, as Helene sort of said, ruminating on the role that mail plays in our lives and in the elections and stuff.
Very nice. How did you two come together to create everything that you've created and are creating?
I was lucky to have a friend introduce me to Draw Right Here, and I got to participate about 3 years ago in a Draw Right Here called Objects of Desire, where we toured the Goodwill facility on Oakland Avenue. We met employees from Goodwill, we learned about their mission, and then together with my collaborative partner, Zuehlke, who is a writer, we participated in this inspirational workshop, Draw Right Here, that resulted in an amazing performance at what was formerly the In Tandem Theater space.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Posey mentioned that they've been around for 2 years. How long, Helene, have you been doing Draw Right Here?
Draw Right Here launched in 2014. So we've been around for a little while. I can't believe it.
Do you have an actual space, or do you move around where needed, or?
Well, I'm based in Milwaukee. And so prior to the pandemic, when we had these events in person, they happened in a different place every time. in Tandem Theater, and a shout out to Chris and Jane Fleeler for the amazing space that they offered us. They were often a hub to house the performances, because what Draw Right Here does is it brings, as I mentioned before, people together who are involved in different disciplines, and they will identify usually for one discipline for the purpose of an event. So even if I'm a painter or a photographer, I might say, okay, I'm going to work with photography for this event. Although we have a lot of flexibility about that now. But people come together and we would go to different places. So we would go to, we went to the Veterans Healing Garden at Cole Farm and did a harvest tasting and did a collaborative process about that, and then performed it with live musicians. We did, we went to the Racine Correctional Institute, actually, and did a collaboration there with prisoners. We've been at the Milwaukee Art Museum, the Jewish Museum Milwaukee, Voyager Bookshop in Bayview, so many different places that we've been to, house the experience and create something that's really, really different and really unique. And the last experience that we had actually at 53212 Presents, the beautiful space that Posey and Kirk provided, we had a chocolate tasting where we thought about the roots of chocolate from the bean to the bar, and what that journey was like, and created a whole series of works. So once we went into quarantine, Posey and I had a tete-a-tete, and we thought, how important is it in general for people to be creative and to feel creative and have their creativity recognized in their lives, especially in community? And although we were sort of in this, digitized world in a sense before that, because of like the digital revolution of the past 10 years, 25 years, whatever, it was a new world once we were quarantined, right, Posey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I think we both found ourselves connecting with a lot of different artists and feeling that artists, they need that space to process and create together. And so, yeah, we felt like it was really important to help facilitate art making for a lot of artists who their worlds had been, turned upside down, and maybe didn't feel comfortable with using technology. And I think Helene's done an amazing job of transitioning from a print publication to now an electronic publication. And again, with the artists that we have at 53212 Presents, who tend to be performance artists, they can now really be integrated because the electronic book houses video and audio text. So a lot of our collaborators are dancers for civil rights and for going postal. So it's going to be, it's an awesome opportunity.
What was your inspiration for picking civil rights and going postal?
So what we did back in March when we quarantined is Posey and I, we just had a little deep dive about the experience, and we said, you know what, let's create a series of chapters as this experience unfolds. We just sensed that this was not going to be just a couple months quarantine and everybody goes back to normal. And that has turned out to be true. So what we did is we've been having a think tank over Zoom and talking about what's going on now, and at what point in this timeline, this trajectory of the pandemic, is it appropriate to create a chapter. So our first chapter we called Reality Hits, which was really the realization that this is no small potatoes, this is a big deal. And then what became, so we were just having a fluid contact with each other and sort of organically coming to what the next chapters should be. So when we found ourselves in the middle of a global uprising spurred by the police killing of George Floyd, it seemed that civil rights was the most appropriate thing to philosophize upon. And so that became our next chapter. Posey, and then what happened? Then we hit the election.
Right. I mean, it's just been one thing after another. And I think, again, we had such a response from artists wanting to participate and wanting to be a part of the community. We've just continued to roll through. And of course, I'm already like, Helene, what's next? What's after going postal? So we have ideas of how to continue the workshops and then the resulting performances.
That's right. And so the Civil Rights Journal was all work that was created. It could have been created with hard materials, but it was all digitized and provided to us through Google Drive folders. It was the digital transmission. Going postal, however, in honor of our postal system and all of the shenanigans that went on with the issues with sending in ballots, we decided to honor the post office, and we had everyone actually mail all of their art to a post office box, so we could really engage the post office, not just in name, but in real support for that one.
Should we show a little trailer? Should we show a little trailer with a little sneak?
Absolutely.
Jamie,
do you have one queued up? Or?
I think Jamie's going to be able to put up actually on our YouTube page. If you follow us on Facebook, Helene, you can find some of this previous Draw Right Here's on the Longhand Project Facebook page. And Helene's done an amazing job of posting videos that you can find on the 53212 Presents Facebook page or the Longhand Project Facebook page as well. So
I can end up queuing up a video if I need to. If Jamie doesn't respond, I'll kind of get things rolling over here. Oh, cool.
There we go. Magic. That looked really interesting. Congratulations.
You can see through the trailer that it's a book that houses static art and moving art. So that's kind of what we wanted to emphasize through that trailer, is that we are showcasing such a wide variety of Milwaukee artists, writers, dancers. We actually have a couple representatives from outside of Wisconsin, and I think that we can grow that if we want to, now that we're digital. Although we're kind of Milwaukee homegrown. So
that's great. Do you have, within the context of your chapters, any historical context, or is it all just immediate and in the present?
We think about a lot of things that link us into history. And at the start of both of these journals, for example, I have sort of an editor's introduction. So I will contextualize or historicize, if appropriate, what it is that is being thought about. But then the participants are really without parameters outside of that. Their job is to do a deep dive on that topic, even if it's a historical topic, and then present what is relevant to them today. And so however that outpictures, we support.
I don't know if this is an accurate description or not, but when I see art like this, I either get confronted by it or engaged in it, but removed. Do you have a preference, and how do you see your art within those two particular frameworks that I viewed this type of art with?
I really appreciate that, postulating that is, because I think what happens at the book reveal, the performance, is that it's really hard to be an outsider. Part of what this whole experience is about is a little bit of a raw reveal of what it means to be a creative person with a creative voice. And we focus much less on what talent means or what product means, but more about what the experience was. And we open up the possibilities for compassion and for experiencing creativity. So when you participate in either a digital book reveal, or if you were to come to a live performance, often what happens is that you want to participate. So that's kind of what it's all about. It's about participation, and it's about the extemporaneous development of community based on learning about what people feel about relevant contemporary topics, if that makes sense.
Do you have a pool of artists that you draw on, and how has that developed over the 2 years that 53212 has been around, or that you've been around, Helene?
Well, for Draw Right Here, it's self-selected. I started back in 2014. Remember those flyers you could make with the little numbers at the bottom that people would tear off? I was putting those around like at collectivos and stuff, but with my email address. So I did that. I actually placed Craigslist arts ads, and all kinds of stuff, and of course Facebook. And this Draw Right Here, by the way, a shout out to Dawn of the Art Bar. This was born at Art Bar. Because Don Krause is a fabulous supporter of all things art and social practice. So I met with him back in 2014 and said, hey, I want to roll out a series of 3 of these and just see if the community wants it. I felt like, I do make art, but I didn't feel like the Milwaukee scene needed another photographer. I don't feel like they needed another painter. They needed experiences to bring people together. And so he was totally on board. And we set those dates. I'm putting up flyers and just doing little pop-ups at coffee shops and bars, and just seeing if people want to sign up. And so that's how it began. And now anytime I'm out and about, if I'm at like a zine fest or something, I just have email signups and word of mouth. I have a relationship with various teachers in the Milwaukee School District. And so they'll do outreach. I'll visit like Rufus King and talk to the students. So it's very organic. And Posy, how do you work with your membership and gaining 5312 participants or fans?
I mean, we've all felt that collaboration is, I don't know, I sense that collaboration is just where we're all at. I think we all feel as small arts organizations that there's only so far you can take things on your own. We have to work together. And so I think Kirk and I, again, are just really drawn to the Draw Right Here idea, because it's bridging. We're sort of anti-disciplinarians ourselves. We don't really believe in identifying as a dancer or an actor, or, in my case, I'm like a scenic designer or director or an administrator, community engagement. At some point you just realize that I want to be with people. I want to be in the community. And I've been so excited at how many people have just, performing artists have wanted to mingle with writers. They want to work intimately with other people, and Draw Right Here is nice because it's a reasonable amount of time. Some of Helene's workshops are just 1 day long. In the case of Objects of Desire, that was sort of a 3-stage collaboration. It was a little bit bigger, but for instance, Going Postal was really just 1 workshop, and now we have the reveal with the book. And so again, for people that are really busy, it's just a nice, easy way to meet some new people, feel a part of a community, have a meaningful exchange with an artist that you may not know, create some art, start thinking about different ways of working, and stay inspired.
What do you find the most rewarding or fulfilling aspect of what you do?
I feel like to go back to that question that you asked before, Tom, when I go into, say, the Milwaukee Art Museum, I'm in awe of what I see, but I don't feel like that kind of personal connection. And I think that what I love the most, I was actually talking with Posey last night about this, is that every time I put together the journal resulting from the collaboration and performances, I always have a weepy moment because it's so beautiful to be let into people's creative process. And because this is so much about process, and it's not about belaboring all the details and spend 6 months workshopping and getting it perfect, it's really about people feeling things in response to what's important to them. And so it feels like very sacred and very special, and that you've been let in on a secret. So so that's what I love the most about it. Posy, what do you think? What do you like the most?
Well, I guess I'm a ham. I like sharing. I like the sharing aspect. I like the performance aspect. I like introducing people to new things. Actually, Helene, so I participated in civil rights as a creator and was partnered with a writer. When I came out with my idea of what I wanted to do for civil rights, it involved filming, and my partner immediately was like, "Oh, well, I do photography too." And it's that whole thing where we have all these hidden talents that we don't necessarily think are worthy. And I feel like something that Draw Right Here has done for me is really allowed me to own sides of myself. Maybe I don't think they're, worthy of entire spectacles, but it's a way for me to continue to develop all of my different passions and recognize like I've got many different facets of my artist self, and that I'm going to continue developing them forever. That learning process is never going to stop.
Yeah, it never should. Well, I'd love to continue talking, but I'm getting the wrap-up sign. So just in conclusion, Posey, what would you like to say about you've got a event coming up next Saturday?
Yeah, so it's free. It's open to the public. It starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday, the 23rd. We have a full evening filled with 27 different artists of all kinds, visual artists, writers of all kinds, performers of all kinds that have created meaningful work in response to this idea. What does civil rights mean to you? And what is important to you about this idea of mail and the elections? And yeah, we would just love for you to join us and get to know new local artists, share in our work, and maybe down the road you'll join us for the next Draw Right Here.
That's right.
We'd love to have you.
How do people find the event?
I think one of the easiest ways is through the 53212 Presents website, which is www.53212presents.org, or again through the Longhand Project Facebook or the 53212 Presents Facebook or our Instagram. I think that's there's just a Zoom link up on our calendar, and you can just come on in Saturday 23rd. We'd love to see you.
Great. And Helene, what do you have to say in conclusion?
I am excited to see anyone who is able to make it. It's just such a fun, invigorating night, and we would love to share it with everyone from the Milwaukee theater community. So thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you then, and we hope to see you at a future Draw Right Here.
Fantastic. And thank you for joining us and sharing your experience in your upcoming event. And I don't know how to disconnect anything.
See you next lifetime.
Jamie has to do something about that.
I'll just pop back and thank you both so much. This is it's just an awesome project. That's it's great that you're bringing different aspects of the community together and getting people together in a time when we're not so together.
Just on a personal note, as a 12-year-old, I marched with Father Grappi across the 16th Street Viaduct, so I've got a real history with civil rights in Milwaukee.
Yes, that is too cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both Good luck at
Yeah, it really sounds great.
this event, and we're looking forward to having you back.
Yes,
Thank you so
you.
much.
thank you.
Pleasure to
Thank
be
you for
here.
having us. Yep.
Wow. Have a great weekend.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That
Good
went
stuff.
well.
Good stuff, Tom.
Yeah.
Good. Love it. Oh, Milwaukee's great.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm just going to cover a few other things that are going on in the community besides this event here.
Mhm.
Let's see what we got, my friend. Optimist Theater just started a new project. They
The Pericles Project.
the Pericles Project. They just premiered that on this past Wednesday. So it is a video project. It's so you can they're trying to premiere, I think, 2 episodes every other week. It'll run through April 7th, and you can find out more information about that at noholdsbarred.org. But again, that's run by Optimist Theater. The Constructivists also premiered a project this past Thursday. That was on Thursday night that we did that. Our Under Construction play development series where we take new plays and our playwrights submit new work, and we're really there to just facilitate getting that work to the next level. So Josiah Thomas Turner had a great play that we started off with just a raw sort of product, and he really expanded upon that and got it to a new level. So, but that's still available on YouTube if you want to check that out. You can find out more about that at theconstructivists.org. What else we got here? This is some intel I got. This is brand spanking new. I got some inside information here. Pingham Theater Company, which is a company very close to my heart, they are going to produce a play for the very first time. It's called Scavengers, written there by Vanessa Loxton and James Fletcher. And that is an interactive play for the whole family, designed for the 4 to 10-year-olds in your home. That will be starting on January 29th, as it says there, and you can go to Pink Umbrella Theater, that's ER.org. And then last, but certainly not least, Milwaukee Opera Theater has their new project that's premiering next week, Friday, and they will actually be our guests next week. So that's why we stuck them at the end here, so that you can learn more about this next week, Friday. The Distance Commissions are 2 brand new music theater pieces inspired by the idea of distance, designed to be composed, produced, and performed remotely. Milwaukee Opera Theater's way of keeping audiences and artists connected and inspired during a dark COVID winter, because it will be that indeed. So again, that premieres next week, Friday, the 22nd of January, and someone from Milwaukee Opera Theater will be here next week. So that's what we got going on right now. You can find out all about more, all the Theater Alliance companies at MilwaukeeTheatreAlliance.org.
Great.
Such as the Village Playhouse.
Yes.
Thanks for hosting, Tom.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Any parting wisdoms?
Oh, go Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Mhm.
You know, people are saying they're going to take it this year, and it makes me really nervous, because when they say that, they don't.
You jinx them. So just say go Pack
Totally
go.
beat them. They are so much better when they are the underdog.
Yes.
They're
Aren't we all?
It's just mind blowing how much better they are. as underdogs. So
Mhm.
but we will say it anyway. Go Pack, go.
Go.
Thank you all out there for joining us at this different time, at this 5 p.m. slot. And again, we're now simulcasting on YouTube. So if your friends out there are not on the Book of Face, we are also on the U of Tube.
Cool.
If that makes any sense.
It does.
But again, thank you, sir. And
You're most welcome.
we will see you next week
Sounds good. Thank you.
on You've Got a Thing.